I
Mhm.
never lost my core because I knew all along that God wins, that humanity wins, but not dirty humanity, focused humanity that's got the consciousness of positive, spinning plasma fields. And when we look at the frequency of C60 Evo, every kinesiologist that I've had it tested by has usually said the word wow.
Hey, hey, Inspired Tribe, my fellow freedom lovers. It's John Nolan here. Thank you so much for tuning in to another inspired conversation. We are coming towards the end of this year. We're looking towards 2025. I know it's going to be an epic year for you and for the entire human family. And when we do that, we're trying to find out what we can do to become the best possible version of ourselves moving forward, to stay healthy, to become healthier, to become better. And I couldn't think of a better partner today to discuss this with than our friend Patty Greer, the co-owner of C60 Evo, a UFO and crop circle researcher and just an overall wonderful human being. Patty, thank you so much for joining us again today.
Thank you. What a nice introduction, because I feel the same about you and beautiful Christine. And I'm looking at this 4-year period that we've survived, all of us that are listening to the show and in your amazing audience, and realizing that we're the heroes of this era. I mean, what a thing we just went through. And to be almost at 2025 with a full heart, I think is a great, great honor and a feat for considering how what humanity's been through. We're not going to act as victims. And here comes 2025, and every turning of a year is an opportunity for greatness, and I'm choosing it.
I love that. I'm with you on that. I do think, and I've shared many times on my show, we have in my just my intuition, we have another, the remainder of this decade is going to be both challenging, expansive. We're going to have some good times, we're going to have some difficult times, but there's still a lot of work to be done, and we need to be at our peak, right? Not 2 days out of the week, 7 days out of the week. And I know this is sort of new for people, but that's what we're doing. We're tuning ourselves into peak performance state here on all levels. Let's let's you and I tune ourselves also to peak performance here with our ritual, shall we? We're gonna take
Cheers.
a shot of the C60 Evo, which we're gonna also raffle off
So
three
you're doing the
bottles.
olive oil, I'm doing the avocado oil. Cheers.
Cheers, my friend.
And everybody in the audience that has a bottle, please join us, because you'll understand more as we get blabbing away, probably at a quicker rate of speed than we would have a minute ago. And why I say that is because it's like instant energy, mental, physical, and spiritual. This helps me on every level. And for me, I think my word of the new year, or the ending of this year, is gratitude.
I
And
love that word.
I am so grateful. Every day when I wake up, I go, I win. I'm still here. And when you look outside and you see the plaid in the sky of bad behavior by military humans that made a decision to poison humanity from the sky, it's like I find myself, instead of being angry and wishing for them to have their engines sanded before they can take off, now I'm realizing that everything is being really exposed to be healed. It's being shown to all of us, and there's going to be people that will deny it to the end. There'll be a plaid grid in the sky of just the worst toxins. And 4 days ago, I took photos because I live in Boulder, Colorado, where we have some of the least intelligent politicians, as represented by Denver, that wants to keep um, the Venezuelan gangs, is a good way to put it, want to keep them safe and well funded rather than taking care of the citizens that are paying huge taxes and driving in traffic to go and come from work. So we're in a time of massive testing of our emotions and our spiritual behavior on the outside. And on every show, I'm like petty positive. And it's not because I'm drunk or believe stupid people. And I don't mean to say stupid, that's rude, but believe people that are being paid to lie straight out.
Yeah, no, you don't have to say it. I'll say it. There's a good number of dumb people out there. They're just dumb. There's nothing you can do about it. But there's a really good number of great, intelligent people out there too, and that's where we want to focus and expand on that, right?
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of memes that say it's not about trying to help the sheeple up the hill. Now it's about gathering the lions and moving forward into 2025. And I can't think of a more lion infested cabinet than what we have ahead. And I do listen to your shows, which I love, and I do hear you say more of the same. But I know that if we put up an image of the present Health and Human Services, Dr. Rachel Levine, or Admiral, or King, Queen, it, they, them, Rachel Levine, and then we put up Bobby Kennedy Jr. Oh, wait a minute. Give him a few more minutes to finish his sit ups, pull ups, and push ups. Oh, there he is without a shirt at 70 years old. Let's put them side by side and say 2024. 2025, we're going to be really glad to be alive because he's talking about no more plaid in the sky, chemtrails. He's talking about no more foolish fluoride in the water. And then the dentists are also going to have to behave. Oh, wait a minute. The whole medical industry, the whole pharma industry. And now we're looking at the CEO of that huge company that just sent me something in the mail, United Healthcare, and realizing that they not only own United Healthcare insurance, they also own sections of pharma, sections of the medical control, and they're all this, as you've been saying for years, conglomerate of demons. And so now we've got Bobby coming in instead of the admiral with a wig and whatever the dress and the push-up bra and the pearls. I don't care. I'm a zero tolerance. I believe that there's wonderful people that truly are born a different sex than maybe they're intended to be, but it's about a millionth of a percent compared to the people that are going, oh, I've been crazy all my life. Now I can use this as an excuse to dress weird and be honored and get mad at people that don't treat me as this new entity I'm creating. We're going to be so moving away from that. And when I look at the fight about Pete Hegswith, what's
Hegseth, Hegseth.
Seth, fabulous, powerful, manly man. I'm reminded of where I live. Now, I rode a Harley for 10 years with some real men, and it was all I could do to keep up, but I kept up because I was into having fun. And now all those boys in Boulder are riding scooters and they all have man buns.
and helmets and yeah.
Elbow
Well,
and knee protectors.
I love how you put that. I love how you put that of because you pointed something out. You pointed out that there's all kinds of kinds, and you cannot look into someone's spirit and say you're wrong if someone feels a certain way. But like you said so beautifully, this is literally a carte blanche for mental illnesses and deep traumas to not be healed any longer, but to be basically affirmed, and erratic behavior just be affirmed in people. And that's just not a sustainable way to do this. And on the other point, I do want to reply to that I actually enjoy the fact that we're viewing this period, and even the people that are in the front right now a little differently. I don't think I don't think that's a problem at all. I sort of have, I have my marching orders from spirit, what I need to do. And I need to remind people, be your own saviors. That's what I need to remind people of. And then when we get pleasantly surprised, all the better, right? So this is where I'm coming from. But I really want to say that um, you come from the field of UFO and crop circle research and filmmaking. You've made some incredible films that are sort of paradigm shifting in the field of crop circles. And then you moved into and became a partner in this company C60 Evo because you are a full-on experiencer of the power of it, right? So this is it's not like, hey, I was just looking for some cool investment, but you're just like, no, I like I saw the potential. I saw how it helped me, how it helped me heal, and that's what got me into this journey. So, with the disclosure discussion and everything going on, can you talk a little bit about that?
You bet. And I am concerned about the disclosure now. When Chuck Schumer says, "Oh, UFOs are real, you better run the other way." Whatever Chuck and Nancy say, Miss Pelosi with the great eyebrows that are up here somewhere, um, there's something to be said for the obvious. And when they say it, I say run the other direction. But what I experienced after 10 years in the field of UFOs, I was starting to tour with the greats in 2007. So I was dealing with your friend Frank Jacobs, and I were
Mhm.
making peak movies. And we were both winning a lot of awards like the EBs that you see there, those two pewter. There's a number more of them around the house. And I've got crop circle, wheat, and stuff around the house. But for me, it's about frequency. I don't need to look at those anymore, but I like the reminder that what I do, I take very seriously. And what happened about taking ufology seriously with Jim Mars, Stanton Friedman,
I miss
Dolores
Jim Mars.
Cannon. Yeah, Jacques Vallée is still alive, I'm pretty sure. But Robert Odin, the granddaddy of ufology, Wendell Stevens, who gave me full access to the largest UFO library on Earth. And oh boy, when he did that and didn't charge me because he believed it, he knew who I was. And I wasn't some, oh, ego, like, look at me. I was a girl who was in the crop circles to try and heal from mercury poisoning. I went to a dentist in Louisville, Colorado, who was part of the demon squad. And this was 21 years ago. I was poisoned intentionally with mercury fillings when I paid thousands for white porcelain. And as I left in tears, I grabbed the chart, because I was going to sue the damn guy. And as a professional harpist musician, I lost the use of my fingertips. That's what happened to me. And I still have a few cuts today, 21 years later, because he was so determined to poison me. And there wasn't one lawyer in America. And I called dozens. There wasn't one lawyer in 2004 that would go after this man for, well, intentional poisoning because the cartel was already in action. Now, what had happened a few years before was the crop circle of the big alien face and the disc that was a binary code that said, "Beware the bearers of false gifts and their broken promises. Much pain, but still time. Believe there is good out there. We oppose deception." Conduit closing. And I'm going, oh my God, am I a part of this? No, no, no. And here I am in the crop circles year after year after year. I'm going in them at night because I didn't see any aliens. I didn't have anything scary other than the night when I was with a friend in a crop circle and I walked through a huge spider web of whatever they are called in England. They look like white tarantulas, and I was covered. I was covered from my neck to the bottom of my black lace skirt. And when I got into the moonlight in the middle of formation, I looked down and I saw these white things moving up me, and I knew, oh God, take your clothes off. So I've been through it, but I go
Hold
deep.
on. You were you
Yeah.
were the naked girl in the crop circle.
I had a pair of panties on. That was about it. But yeah, my clothes left quickly. And I saw in the twilight these little white things scurry, and there must have been 50 on me. I mean, I full bore at night said, "Oh, shortcut. Look, there's a trail going into the field." And my friend from Holland said, "Oh, no, Patty, I would not do that." And I said, "See you in the middle." And of course, I did the shortcut and had to learn my lesson. But I realized when I was looking up, what are those white tarantulas? Why didn't I get bit? Well, I didn't have any fear. Maybe they weren't spiders at all. I don't know. There's so much we don't know. But my lack of fear was completely off the wall because one spider would throw me. But I was always in a higher frequency when I was in the crop circles. What I learned when I met Stephen Greer, who's Mr. Ufology still, and who knows who he works for, but God bless him on his journey. A lot of people thought, oh, you're winning your awards because you're Stephen's wife. And I'm like, no, and he's not my father either. No. We're not related. The reason I won awards is because the movies are real. They're authentic. I have no training. I couldn't tell you what one part of that camera was called other than door and focus. I was just like, okay, looks good, roll. And I was just raw. But the movies, when you're in filming heaven, it's hard to not film heaven. Every frame is like,
That's a
what?
good way to put it.
So I think I spoiled myself touring with the greats and being in a field of all freedom in England. And all of a sudden, the freedom started to dry up. In 2016, the farmers were instructed by the government that if they wanted to get their monthly stipends, they had to delete us, lock us out, not let us in the field. Worse yet, they had to mow out the field on day 2. Why? Why? But see, I didn't know back then that we were dealing with deep state directly, like we do now. Now everything is so in our face. But I was hacked more than anyone in ufology. And the last time I did a speak at an event, when I was leaving, I had real issues with people that were really mad I kept winning awards when there were a bunch of guys that were paid by who knows who that wanted those awards. And I didn't expect it, but I won People's Choice and Best Film for my final crop circle movie that was just completely exposing what's going on. And what's going on is I learned about the plasma field in crop circles. And what we have is spinning vortices of plasma that meet at the bottom, literally, and they're spinning really fast and they're coming out of the earth. So people are like, crop circles, oh, they're fake. Who cares? Crop circles, oh, they're made by the military. Who cares? Or they're made by guys with boards and ropes. The BBC told us, and ancient aliens told us, so it's got to be real that they're fake. It's like, oh, okay. Like, no, I've been in them. The hair stands up on your arm, even little teeny girl hairs. Like, no, it's very real. But it took me until my seventh, eighth movie to go to the lab to be invited. And what I learned was that the seeds inside crop circles are super seeds. And that's why they hid my films. And I'm sorry to say, pretty much tortured me at the end. And the super seeds are growing up to 400% more food and biofuel per plant. This is why they're hiding crop circles, is because they are actually creating miraculous seeds. And my final film, here I am in the lab where they've got a machine that recreated the plasma field. And what I learned, which relates again to, oh my God, now I'm dealing with this, like the peak of raising frequency in a bottle on a spoon. This is so easy. How could that have anything to do with what I learned in the crop circles? And what I learned was, and it was funny because Stephen Greer showed his group of people, and I just happened to be there with my man, and we were filming, and there we were in the center circle, and his group is like, hey, this is our space. And I'm like, yeah, well, I'm making a movie. You guys move, all 20 of you. But I didn't really. I just stood there with my man and my camera going, hey. And Stephen, who I didn't know he knew me, went, Patty Greer, ladies and gentlemen. So it was like, okay, this is cool. And then they left and then we filmed. But he showed an image of spinning vortices going in opposite directions. And he was saying there's something about this. And sure enough, when I went to the lab and I learned about the plasma field, I learned that with this machine that they recreated to make super seeds, not only do they grow up to 400% more food and biofuel, but they also don't die when it's too hot, too cold, too wet, too dry. We need this. We
So,
need
ba
this technology.
so basically, that would have been the super seed for our time, right? For what we're going through.
Yes, and it can be moving forward. But what I learned was that when you spin plasma, which these plasma fields are counter rotating and they're spinning really fast, and then they create this ball of heat, light at the bottom, and then the balls of light move across the field with this information from inside the earth. And what we have is plasma consciousness from the interior of the earth, messages that are being brought to humanity and anything flying over. and their messages in the fields emblazoned that last all summer or until the farmer is forced to mow it out. But what we learned was that if you spin plasma clockwise, you create matter, you create energy, you create what you want. But if a bad person decided, I'm going to hold this directed energy weapon and hurt someone, which I know they do, what I learned was they are rotating the plasma field in a negative way to uncreate matter.
It's literally when you stir your greens in the morning or when you stir whatever you drink, if you cook whatever, you are literally co-creative energy goes clockwise and sort of destructive energy goes counterclockwise. And that's literally, I mean, that's something we've been we've been aware of and trying to tell people the simplest things, but this is and these plasma balls, by the way, or some people call them orbs also. I mean, this is a phenomenon that if you studied has been around for eons and has been reported and talked about in all cultures and tribal and whatnot. So to me, when I wasn't aware of their connection to the crop circles until I met you, but it makes absolute perfect sense to me.
Yeah,
Makes perfect sense to me.
it's remarkable. And when I realized that my information was so dangerous, I had no idea. I mean, I was like skipping through the tulips in the crop circles, and I was fearless. And when nobody would fly in the microlights, the pilots would go, it's rainy, it's windy in the sky. Nobody probably wants to fly. And there's people in this room waiting in line from all over the world. The researchers, we'd all come in and we'd all want to fly because when you're in the air over Wiltshire, Somerset, between Stonehenge, Avebury Stone Circle, Glastonbury. There's so many crop circles by June, July, August, they start to mow them out when the fields dry. So I was Patty the animal. Nobody would fly when it was really bad, and I'd be, I will. And they're like, oh
There you go.
man, that girl from, but they moved me to the what did they call it? The front line pretty quickly because I once I realized how real they were, and I came back the next year and stayed in a B&B right in the epicenter. Like I spent all my allowance just being there. It wasn't really to make movies or be well known for exposing the truth of why they're hiding it. It was because I was trying to heal my hands from mercury poisoning. I thought there's no doctors in America, there's no lawyers willing to be honest about this. Like, that's when I started my conspiracy theories, when I realized, wow, dentists and doctors are sticking mercury in shots, in teeth, and they're poisoning us on purpose. And now they're poisoning us from the air and the fluoride in the water. And then we let Bill Gates still be free. And he's just nailing the food supply with his buddy George Soros. And, now we've got Pritzker and Soros doing their trans agenda for $4.2 billion. And everything's just bubbling to the surface. And for people to say, I still prefer Rachel Levine, Admiral Rachel Levine. I have nothing to say. I'm just
Rachel.
done. So I did have my plasma readjusted. I was hit with a terrible weapon leaving the last gig in 2017, and I never went to a UFO event again because the field was infiltrated. And again, I didn't realize how big this group of infiltrators were. I thought it was just, some nasty people, but it wasn't. It was the agents. The big agency was coming in to take control of the disclosure.
And
So
steered a narrative.
yeah, yeah. And when I had my body dropped to the ground on a marble floor at the airport leaving this gig, I had no idea what hit me. I was in such agony. And I don't know how I got from there to the plane. I remember it was very vague, but I was hit with something god awful for telling the truth in times of universal deceit. And in 2013, when I was really getting out there with the films, somebody took my website down and just put this huge thing across it that said, telling the truth in times of universal deceit is a revolutionary act. Backward quotes, George Orwell at the bottom. And they were trying to scare me. And then they created 235 stores on Amazon that sold my movies. I mean, I'm watching a lot of influencers now go, oh, well, they've demonetized me. You have no idea what I went through for ufology. And that I'm still here is only one reason, and it's that God saved me with C60 Evo. And what this is a miracle molecule that won the Nobel Prize in the 90s. The Nobel Prize used to mean something. Today it doesn't, because they gave one to Obama and probably Bill Gates and who knows, Marina Abramovic, maybe, who knows. I mean, let's go in that frequency, blah. But all of that is in a box now for me. It's called 2024, the nightmare for humanity. And now we've got 2025 where we can choose to be celebrating being alive. And my friends are like, how do you stay so optimistic? I mean, like, you're clearly sober. Like, what? How are you staying positive? And I'm like, I drink a lot of this. I start my day, I put it in my coffee, I stir it clockwise. That's for sure. And I went to somebody that did some major healing work, and I think your audience might know by now, but I had both of my hips replaced this year because not only was I dropped at the airport, but a few years later, still didn't die. They put some uranium in my garage. They found this retarded, uh, I don't know. I'm guessing he's MK Ultra, piece of garbage. And I think we've got a lot of them floating right now doing very bad things, and they don't know. Like they
My
have
goodness.
no feelings.
Patty's just dropping the truth bombs today.
Oh,
I love it.
well, see, when Chris doesn't show up, I'm not on good behavior.
It's like I'm not kidding you, but I think I bring it out in her. She sees me, she sees the hat, and she just starts like these amazing, all the pieces coming together. Which, by the way, when you talk about disclosure, I think this is so important to know that, like you said, once it hits the mainstream and once they take over the narrative, you can pretty much walk away and say none of that is interesting or probably true. And so when you come too close, I mean, things like that can happen. I think it's a incredible story that you're here, sort
Oh,
of better than ever.
yeah. Oh, and I'm badass now. I'm like Granny with her fists up, like, you don't want to mess with this elder. Yeah. I have zero tolerance. And I watched your show with tremendous interest yesterday because you were really talking about karma and the demons and justice, which is mandatory because otherwise, if they get away with it, they'll just keep going and killing more people or putting uranium in more garages or hitting more people with these weapons because nobody's catching them. So, yeah, I dealt with some really awful stuff. I don't know how I stayed positive, but I did because I love life. And I also know how to have fun. Like in the lowest of the low, I'm still going to have fun. I don't know how I'm pulling it off, but it's because now I know how I'm pulling it off. I got the big bottle. That's how. It's the size of my head. I'm going to be going for
Okay.
the one that's going to be the size of my body and just get a straw. And so I'll just show up
Jesus.
at your shows with a big straw. Okay, ready to
Listen,
go.
listen, Miss Patty, shall we bless some people today? Because during our last conversation, we announced that if people left a comment underneath our interview, we're going to raffle off a bottle. And then a couple days later, you emailed me and you said, you know what? There's so many nice comments. Let's raffle off 3 bottles. Let's bless more people. So I want to say thank you for that. I broke out my other hat here. We printed out all the users, the wonderful people that had commented. And here's what we're going to do: we'll make it really fair. It's all printed out. We're going to raffle. One fell out already. Okay, so that's the first winner.
I think so.
And then we're going to announce them. And we ask you that if your YouTube username is called, that you please send an email. Miss Patty, can you tell us the email? And we're going to put it in the description so
Yeah.
they can. Yeah. So before we announce them, where should they send an email to?
Hello at C60Evo.com. Attention, Patty.
Perfect. That's
And
all. And
all
then
I
you just
need,
say
yeah, is you
inspired.
to,
I won a bottle during the inspired raffle. So the first name is Monica with an H at the end, SIEH 9136. I'm going to show this into the camera. Congratulations, Monica. If this is you, please send an email to hello@c60evo.com. Attention Patty, and just let her know I won a bottle, and put your username in there, please. So that is number one.
So we were going to give away one 8-ounce bottle, and I decided to give away 3 4-ounce bottles, which is a month's worth. And that means 3 people get to try the product. We're going to send the olive oil because it is the
The
strongest
strongest.
and the most popular that you'll find
Oh,
anywhere.
we have the second winner. It's the ladies today. Kimberly PL5272. Let me hold this up. The stripe here. Kimberly PL5272. Please report to Miss Patty. hello@c60evo.com. Attention, Patty. Let her know. And the last one, I'm being unbiased here, but the energy of my body might not be. So let's see. The third person is Julie Pangborn. Julie Pangborn 7282. Julie Pangborn 7282.
So the
So
day of the ladies.
it's the day of the ladies. Ladies, congratulations. You each won a bottle of the C60 Evo Olive Oil, the strongest one. This is this one here that we just did. Please reach out to Miss Patty by emails, hello@c60evo.com. Attention, Patty, and let her know. And they'll be sending it out. Thank you so much, by the way. We really appreciate that. And it's a blessing, to do that and to have people experience Christmas with a shot of Evo.
That's right.
Uh, it's going to be even better. So what are you doing during this holiday season, Miss Patty? How are you staying sane and clear? What are the things that you do that help you be so positive and optimistic?
Well, what do I do? I mean, I start my day with the most delicious cup of coffee every day. It's my wake up ritual. I find my way to the kitchen, and it takes work sometimes because I sleep really deep from the Evo. And when I wake up, um, I definitely need coffee. And I allow it because I'm seeing some of the greater doctors admit that organic coffee is really good for your brain. I'm finding that I'm listening to a lot of really intelligent doctors, not the ones that are paid by dark pharma, but what they're saying is that, needless to say, turmeric, curcumin, there's certain things that if you take it daily, golden milk, you're going, or weekly, you're going to raise your body's frequency, you're going to keep your mental focus. There's all these different things that you can mix and make and soak and blah. This is a spoon. For me, this is like how hard I want to work to feel better. And even though I did 2 major surgeries this year, hip replacements, I am flying through it because, and I'm sure this is all I've really taken. And I start my day with the C60 Evo MCT coconut oil in my coffee. Now, I'll tell the obvious truth, it is half as strong because scientifically it will only hold half as much C60,
Hmm.
ESS60 from our lab. And what happens is the rest of it falls to the bottom of the spinning vat because the concentration level that the oils will hold naturally is different. An olive oil will hold zero point 0.8 milligrams per milliliters, avocado 0.6, MCT 0.35, no matter how long we mix it, no matter how much we put in. And lucky me, I feel like I got hit with a weapon. I survived. I got to tour with all the greats. My movies made sense because I was dealing with real ufologists. And then I watched the dominoes tumble, and almost all the greats died. And I got hit with a weapon that tried to kill me, I'm thinking, but I survived. And then round 2, boom, I got poisoned. What? Uranium and mercury. It's like, and a directed weapon. How can I feel this good and be this happy? Because I feel like I never lost my faith. I
Hmm.
never lost my core because I knew all along that God wins, that humanity wins, but not dirty humanity, focused humanity that's got the consciousness of positive, spinning, plasma fields. And when we look at the frequency of C60 Evo, every kinesiologist that I've had it tested by has usually said the word wow. Wow. And when I went to somebody to talk about these major scars that I have on the fronts of both of my hips, not to brag, just kidding. um, my dermatologist said, I see scars morning, noon, and night, 5 days a week. I've never seen anybody heal like this. And I said, I brought you some. And she goes, you know, I can't. And I'm like, wow, you poor doctors. You could be selling this in your office instead of that shit with all the chemicals and actually seeing results like you're seeing on me. Well, you know, we can't insurance. And it's like, yeah, insurance, dark pharma, insurance, money, garbage. Bye bye, all of you. Hey, Bobby Kennedy Jr., guess what? He takes this. I've sent him 3 collection sets. And if you don't think I'm telling the truth, yes, you do think I'm telling the truth. I got my Make America Healthy Again hat straight from Bobby's office because I like dealing with real people and I like dealing with real science.
Not
And
gonna lie, that's a great hat.
isn't it
It's a good
great?
it's a great color for you. I love that color. I mean, it kinda goes with this here really well, you know?
Yeah, it goes well with my bottle. And today I did all my ads with my art director, and I was like, you know what we do? And we're so consistent. We're not pastel people. We are jewel tone people. And I look at your deep sapphire blue all wrapped around the image of you and I on the screen. We are deep jewel tone people. And I really take that to heart because as I look around, I see a lot of tan, beige, and brown, but not me. It's really rare when I don't have colors on. And yesterday I was sitting at the DMV getting plates for my way too fast car that we talked about last time. And I'm looking around and there's this guy right next to me. Oh God, he looks so beautiful in his green sweater colors and hard. I could just see him emanating and I'm wearing some goofy, colorful thing. But then I look around the room and it's like, oh, these drab people in black. And the energy was like, oh God, I wish I could help. You know, there's times when I feel like I should just take the big bottle and a box of plastic spoons and sit on the Pearl Street Mall in downtown Boulder and just give people a sample because all my friends and family that I've given a sample to takes 2 to 3 days and I watch all the orders that come in and the reorders. It's like they always order because the product works. And I'd love to hear your interpretation of what I mean, because I'm one of the owners, but I'm also an owner because I got lucky. God said, okay, but they couldn't kill you. What should we do for you? Let's give you the partners from heaven with the only lab in the world manufacturing the good stuff, ESS 60. We also manufacture industrial grade, which is the good stuff for batteries, tires, photocells, and ink. But you don't want to put that in your body. So now I'm in an industry called the carbon 60 fullerene industry. My partners own the lab that makes ESS 60, which is specifically made for humans and pets. And they've been doing this 33 years. They also have industrial, but they won't sell that to the boys and girls online that are trying to trick the public with crap C60 because it's cheaper. And then they mix it with some oil from Costco, which I know they're doing. And then they sell it at the same price we do. And then people complain, well, you're not that good. It's like, well, don't buy industrial. Number one, it hasn't been tested. Don't give it to your pets that you love, but certainly don't give it to yourself. But it's hard to convince the public that Rachel Levine might not be a great rep for health and human services.
Why would that be hard to convince anyone? I mean, that person never looked healthy or sane or anything, but, you know, if you ask about our experience, here's the first thing that I'll tell you. If we didn't if we didn't love it and if our family didn't take it, then you and I wouldn't be sitting here. And that's because then we wouldn't talk about it to our audience because that's the only way that our audience ever hears anything come out of our mouths is if we're actually convinced that this is helpful. This is helping people and then our family takes it. So that includes our pets. And we've seen, you know, because we're all very healthy, because thankfully, you know, knock on wood, we are really healthy. We have seen the biggest improvements is in clarity, brain, energy increase. That's what we've seen. Better sleep. That's what we've seen. Um, Especially recovery. For those of you who like to walk, run, work out, play sports, whatever, recovery is oftentimes, it can be a pain, literally, right? I mean, sore muscles. I've had a million days with sore muscles, and this is a game changer for that. Like recovery is it's a whole different story now, which I would encourage anyone who does work out a lot and gets these sore muscle days to give it a try. I think it has been empirically shown that if you take double the doses for really a lot of strenuous workouts, that you'll see a huge difference. But here's the big but: the biggest success story is still our golden retriever, who is breaking records at 14 and change old. And we have family in town, and so they know him at his best and they know him when he's not so good. And they've really seen a difference. We thought a year ago that probably, how it is at that age, we thought that was going to be it. And since he's been on a daily dose of Evo, the pet Evo, he is he is old, but he's walking 3-4 times a day. We're making the rounds slow, but he is. And he still is enjoying life. So there are they're just, we just unequivocally can support and recommend this product and say, hey, please give it a try, especially now, as the holidays are coming. It's probably going to be a little too much eating for some, a little too much indulging, and all of it. This is going to help a lot, and it might just be a wonderful gift underneath the Christmas tree. Because here's the two: we can participate in this mindless, useless, stupid consumerism and just buy crap that's either going to fall apart or not help anyone, or we could be very mindful of what we give to someone and what it says, about how we love them. And so, I know that C60 Evo offers beautiful bundles and packages. Miss Patty's going to let us know about it and where they can order and how you all can get all the discounts that are available.
So, the dog and cat products are life saving for animals. And some people have thought, I'm going to give it to my dog and see how he does, and then maybe I'll do it. And they always end up ordering. We do a dog lover set and a cat lover set, which is a bottle for you, bottle for your pet. And anything that's a set, we take 15% off both products, all products. And we've got gorgeous Christmas sets. The nice thing about anything that we do for the holidays or not holidays is that you get them in beautiful colored tissue. And everything comes where you open the box and it's like, oh, birthday, oh, Christmas, because everything's really colorful and pretty, which makes Christmas giving a lot easier. They also come with a little pamphlet that tells you about all the products, how to use them, but it's pretty self explanatory. Spoon, bottle, fill the spoon, put it in your mouth. And for people that don't love the taste of oil on a spoon, we have capsules of just the strong stuff. And these are great for travel. If you're flying, take a baggie of these and they won't take it out of your suitcase, briefcase, purse. But they did remove bottles, we've heard, getting on a flight with your carry on. So do the capsules for traveling. But think of people with dogs and cats that are older and that really need the help. But if you've got a new puppy that's 6 months to a year and you want him to live to be 15 to 20, start him early because it's 172 times more powerful than vitamin C as an antioxidant. It was proven in a lab in one test, and then in a peer reviewed test, it was only proven to be 125 times stronger than vitamin C. I never get sick. My family never gets sick. All my friends that are on it never get sick. And what I found was that in the beginning, when I was taking it, I would put it on my spoon, stick it in my mouth before noon. Good idea. It really energizes you all day, sleep better at night. So I recommend doing it early in the day, not late, unless you're going to drink heavily or do a triathlon. If you're going to do a triathlon or a major exercise and you want to impress people at the gym and you know you're going to push yourself, do a nice teaspoon or tablespoon of the olive oil and you'll be cooking with gas. I mean, the people that say it gives me more energy, but I don't hurt the next day where I always did before. So, really great to be taking this on the inside. If you're going to drink heavily, New Year's Eve, the holidays, whatever, it's the only time I say, okay, take a spoonful when you're going to bed. And people say it's a hangover helper. You just wake up without a hangover. And Chris, I mean, he likes to party, and he and his wife do dancing parties, and he goes wild, and he says, can't believe it the next day, but he can also have a cup of coffee at night with that. Our newest product, which I'm super excited about because it's just making people happy, is the C60 Evo Rich Body Cream with tangerine, and it smells like heaven. I kind of feel like a walking little citrus, uh, little citrus ball, because once you put it on, you can smell it for hours, and it's not a strong scent. It's all natural, which I really am bragging about our products being all natural. And this just smells marvelous. But our number one product that I love is the C60 Evo Advanced Facial Serum. And it makes a really beautiful gift. Uh-oh. I've got to open one from scratch because I took the last one. I ran out, and I don't want to go a day without my C60 Evo.
You might be able to see some residue, some shine on my face. I put it on earlier this morning.
I find that men love it as much as women and everybody in between. So it slides out. I mean, talk about a pretty gift. It says revive, replenish, rejuvenate. But what it does for your skin is remarkable. It's got 21 natural, organic, vegan ingredients. And again, it smells so good. It's scented with a natural rosemary oil. And the reason we chose that is because they say in aromatherapy that rosemary oil takes your dreams into a higher frequency. So if you put this on at night, you push the little top thing, you pull the thing out, push it down, and man, I love the smell. So
Me too.
yeah, the way I discovered that we needed to make a facial serum was that I was using my spoon, and I would, take my Evo every day, and then I wipe the spoon off and put it on my hands, and then I started rubbing it on my skin. And I realized after 50,000 miles on a Harley, my skin was a little bit biker chick looking, and now it's not. I mean, it's
No,
like
not at all. No.
everything in my system has changed. And I feel like my frequency is really consistent now because the clearing, it's scientifically been proven that it crosses the blood brain barrier. We also know that it clears out the mitochondria, which is in every cell. We know that the brain has more cells than anywhere else in the body, and the pineal gland is very, very dense with mitochondria. So when you've got a remedy that will bust up the crap in your mitochondria and you pee it out, that's what's amazing. And it's not on the micro level, it's on the macro level, which means that it goes into every little quadrant of every cell. It's like this absolutely miracle molecule. And when I repeat, it won the Nobel Prize in chemistry, it was because everything they tried it on, it was the best. It was the strongest molecule with the greatest results. And then in 2012, they thought, oh God, is it toxic? Because, the benzene, the appearance made some scientists think, maybe it's toxic, but ink, batteries, who cares? So they tested it for toxicity, and they used product from our lab, which happened to be in this very bottle that we sell today. And they tested it on lab rats, I'm sorry to say, but the lab rats lived 90% longer than expected than the control group, and they died without tumors, which was the first time in history that Wistar rats went through any test and died without tumors, which we don't make a claim that it cures the big C. It's just a coincidence that
It's just
5
a
different.
really interesting coincidence. That's incredible. Every time you share that study and we talk about it, because I think it's important, it sort of sparks your imagination, right? I mean, what is all possible?
My own experience firsthand convinced me without a doubt that I am severely blessed to be partners with Chris and Robert that own the only lab in the world making ESS60 for humans and pets. Again, the other choices are Wuhan, China, someplace in Russia, and maybe somewhere in Canada, but anybody you see online that's not selling ESS60 is probably selling Chinese C60. And we are now officially not allowed to advertise on Facebook, Instagram because a hidden administrator got into my back end. I've been on it for since November 6th. They shut us down and they pushed up this C60 appearance of a industrial grade, but my partner ran into these people and they admitted China. They admitted their shit's from China, excuse me. And so it's all being pushed, sponsored by the initial agencies, maybe. You can't buy that. You cannot buy that. And I can't tell and explain to the people around me in the business that I've already lived through having 235 stores that sold my movies that weren't me. I've already seen what it smells like to be infiltrated, to be hacked, to be compromised. And I should be crying and really angry. Instead, I'm just like, yeah, yeah, yeah. And I'm watching your show going, okay, no retribution, but we're not going to sit around and go, oh, karma will take care of them. No,
Justice,
justice
justice.
will.
There needs to be a rebalancing, and this is like we say, with our body, with our spirits, with our minds. This is part of a rebalancing too. So, I would encourage everyone to go over to c60evo.com/inspired channel. There'll be a coupon code that you can use for maximum savings, double and triple savings on some packages and subscriptions, and be that, put it on your Christmas shopping list. It's just a gift that keeps on giving for the people that you love. And Miss Patty, it's always, I always love listening to the stories that you share, because they're full of truth, but they're also full of hope and full of inspiration. So thank you so much for that. It's always an honor.
Thank you. Well, the white tarantula story hasn't come out in quite a while, but that was one of those moments where I went, "How did I do that?" But when I think about getting in the airplanes to film the crop circles from 3,000 feet above, and the pilot goes, "Door on or door off on your side?" I thought he was kidding, but he wasn't. So here I am years later going, wow, I lived to tell. I do want to mention one more thing because I really want your audience to be able to try the products. Is that we're going to be running another 3 free bottles in December. So that was our
Fantastic.
November. Those were our November winners. We're going to do it again between now and Christmas. So those of you taking the products, please post your testimonials. And those of you that haven't yet, a lot of people just all said, I just really want to try it. I know a lot of people are having financial issues because we just lived through, the end of a major crime spree. But I'm excited. I think the major crime spree is soon to come to an end. And the power team that's moving in for 2025 is going to be amazing. If you sign up for a monthly subscription, you're going to save 20%. And if you cancel in 3 days, that's okay with us. We want you to save the money. So sign up for monthly, save 20%. Any gift collections that you buy yourself or somebody else, if it's 2 items or more, it's 15% off. The best deal of all, and it'll get you a whole dozen gifts, is if you buy a case, you get 25% off. But no matter what discounts you get, use John's code. At the checkout, it says, do you have a code? You're going to find it in the link below. And you'll also find that if you buy two 16 or 32-ounce bottles this month, you get a 8-ounce for free. So there's all kinds of deals on the website, on the landing page, and we really hope that people will just stay healthy. That's what this is about. It's about radiant health on the inside and out. That's why we do skin serums. That's why we do edible oils, so that you can really purify your body. And with what I've lived through, I'm guessing that everybody else's healing needs, no matter how bad, other than the big C, that's worse than I've ever dealt with. And my heart goes out to you. But I believe there's hope. And I also believe that Bobby Kennedy Jr. is going to do so much cleanup that's going to help us. Where's my hat? Make America healthy again. That's my wish for all of us.
I second that, my friend. So, friends, please do two things. Leave a comment with your testimonial or review underneath this video. And if you haven't tried it yet, just let us know in a comment that you would like to. Then that's how you automatically enter the raffle. We're going to do it again during our next conversation. We're going to raffle off 3 more bottles. So thank you for that. And then hop over to c60evo.com/inspired channel. Browse around and have fun and let your intuition pick the right stuff for you. Miss Patty Greer, thank you so much. It's an honor and a pleasure. Much love to you. Thank you for being here with us.
And to
And it's,
all of you. I mean, oh, look, we did the same
yeah,
hands.
yeah, an Inspired Tribe. Thank you so much for tuning in. You know, we love you. We appreciate you. We'll be back with you again very, very soon.
Thank you.